You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811 is our message line number. You can reach us there. You can reach us on the web. You can check out the website, www.thefrontporchshow.com, if you want to send us an email. We each have email addresses that you can reach out to us. Of course, Jeff's may not exist anymore because we haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. But I don't know. I mean, he's still incognito.
He's drowned in all the paint that he bought.
It's a remote possibility.
So, as you said, this is week 3 that Jeff is allegedly painting his house. We actually don't know for a fact that he's not just avoiding us, but we've got 3 texts from him in the last 2 weeks.
We have.
Whereas you and I have exchanged dozens, if not hundreds of texts.
Oh, easy. All in that same text thread.
Do we know that Jeff is not lying in a concrete river basin in Los Angeles?
Kind of like that marathon runner. That's a great story.
Why are we joking about this?
It shouldn't be funny, but it is. It's ironic. It's ironic.
I think that might be the worst segue I've ever tried on the show.
It was. I feel
it's way premature.
What did you? Yeah. My goodness.
Back it out. Back it up. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Happy post 4th of July, Tombstone.
I didn't shoot any fireworks.
You
off.
did? What?
I'm full of regret.
Why?
Because I'm old and I have small children that have to go to bed.
So I went to. So Nebraska doesn't really have any fireworks stores. We have pop-up fireworks tents.
Do you not? Wait, are they not legal?
They are legal, but only to sell 2 weeks out of the year.
Do we have the video or an article queued up about the fireworks store that exploded in Fort Mill?
I don't. I didn't even hear about that.
Let me dig that
Find that out.
You.
So I went to one of the local tents.
Let's just say in South Carolina we know how to have a good time in all the wrong ways.
I bet. I went to one of the local tents, one of the 30 that pops up in our town of 24,000 people.
Okay.
And I perused. I walked into the tent and I said mortars. And the guy points me to the back. Mortars.
But they're in the back.
And he points to the back. And I walk to the back and he's like, "What did you do last year?" And I was like, "Well, I had this pack right here and I liked it so much I figured I'd come back and we'd try something else from you guys."
I've never shot mortars. Is it as much fun as it looks like?
I mean, they go higher.
They make big booms.
I mean, they're like real fireworks. They go up in the air and they explode 150 feet. So yeah, It's solid. And so I decided not to go with the decimator. I went with the eliminator. Which is 40 shots of pure happiness, including
what was the damage on that?
Is Alyssa here? No, she's not. It was $80, I think.
Holy,
40 shots,
so $2 a shot.
Yeah, but so some of these shots were singles, some of them were doubles, and some of them were triples.
You got a good bang for the buck.
Yeah. No, I was quite happy with it, and it looked good. The colors were nice.
Were the boys happy?
The boys were extremely happy, and so were our 15 guests that we had over on our deck. So that was the cool thing. My deck held up. My deck held all 15 guests.
Mm-hmm.
We set out.
You didn't explode it.
No, it didn't explode it, and it held them. Which structural integrity being the
very important to test those things with real live people whenever you get the chance.
Yes.
If you're going to have a failure, it's better to have it with 15 people than say 20 people.
So when I did the calculations for the deck, I calculated it based on 100 people on the deck. So 15 people was fine.
Will it even hold 100 people?
No, you can't fit 100 people on that deck.
Oh, okay.
I actually think I could fit I know I can park a truck on it.
What if you had 15 tombstone-sized people?
Nah, we'd still have room. We'd still have plenty of room. No, it was that good. So Fort Mill.
Yes, Fort Mill.
This is South Carolina.
Yes. I'm watching Aaron watching the video.
And
I can see the flashy fireworks on the screen on his face.
Let's see if live we can cue this up, okay?
Fireworks exploded when containers near 2 South Carolina fireworks stores caught fire.
Two of them
this morning in a parking lot between these 2 stores in Fort Mill. You can see the flames spreading.
That is amazing.
So apparently, it wasn't the store itself; it was the containers out back.
The fire sparked in containers outside one of the stores.
That may be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's pretty spectacular.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime, just because of the volume. This clearly was a once-in-a-lifetime fall.
We know how to have a good time in South Carolina.
We usually don't go to, and hope we never have to go to again.
There's still no word yet on what caused the fire. No injuries have been reported, but fireworks stores were left without electricity after the fire knocked down a nearby power line.
Yeah, buddy, right next to the Waffle House.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
If y'all have ever driven across the line to or from South Carolina, then you will know that there are large fireworks stores on all the major interstate entrances and exits to the state.
Do you understand
because Georgia and North Carolina have much more restrictive fireworks laws than we do, where here there is nothing that is illegal except injuring yourself or your family or your friends.
Do you know how many absolute tons and millions of dollars that we are bringing in pyrotechnics from China?
Oh, a lot.
That's like, I kid you not, there's like 30 fireworks tents in our small town of 24,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And each one has a tractor trailer sitting next to it full of fireworks.
So I did a quick Google to find out how many people were hurt in fireworks incidents in South Carolina this week.
Okay.
And it looks like it was only 2 people.
That's not bad at all.
One person was struck by lightning and killed.
Okay, I mean, the odds.
So, but there was a guy. There was a guy that managed to kill himself in Spartanburg, which is very sad.
With fireworks.
With fireworks, yeah, as some kind of head injury.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, a couple years ago, there was a guy that launched a mortar from his head and killed himself.
Why? Why would you do that?
Alcohol was involved.
Oh, right.
Alcohol
Okay.
was involved.
So two years ago, I was launching fireworks, and I did not screw my mortars to the board that I was launching them from.
Uh-huh.
And dumb mistake, but I lit 2 of them at the same time, and the mortar the mortar tipped over the mortar next to it, and so the mortar next to it fired at a 90-degree angle and missed me by probably 4 inches.
Ooh.
And I could have.
How fast do they move out of the?
Oh, they shoot out of there fast. They shoot out of there fast, man. Like super fast. If you can like find a YouTube video with shooting a mortar, like you'll see it. I mean, it's moving, man.
Okay.
I mean, it's throwing it up there 200 feet, and it's what I think it's 50 grams of propellant.
Yeah.
And so you're talking a lot of propellant.
So, and the only other episode was apparently in Anderson. Some guys had fireworks out on a pontoon platform on the lake.
Okay.
And I assume this is in Hartwell it's Broadway Lake, pardon me. And they had a bucket of fireworks and they caught fire and they were burned. But other than that, it was a great week.
Where was that video? Was it our friend Andrew who sent that to us? The guy who strapped the Roman candles to his back, and he was on a hoverboard.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was great. One of those. What do they call it? It's a hoverboard, right? Hoverboard.
Assuming you're not talking about a skateboard or a Segway or.
Yeah, I think it was Roman candles. The guy's standing on a hoverboard. And he has Roman candles strapped to his back, and he's like hunched over, and he's like propelling himself.
This sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, yeah. No one said it was a smart idea, Tombstone. But
Oh well.
One of those. Stay safe, guys. Don't do anything stupid.
Please.
And
but the good news is you have 6 months to prepare for New Year's. So
isn't that the truth?
You can work harder to injure yourself then.
We'll be right back.
Celebrate storming the airports next year.
Across the waters of the Delaware and seized victory from Cornwallis of Yorktown. Our army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. And at Fort McHenry, under the rocket's red glare, it had nothing but victory.
Tombstone.
Yes.
Our revolutionary forces took over airports and they manned the air.
Okay, so I need you to set me straight on this. Was the president being silly? Was he ad-libbing and messed it up?
Okay.
What happened?
So I watched the video probably a half dozen times.
Okay, the video. So you can't. Was it raining when he gave the speech?
So it was raining. I guarantee it was a teleprompter error.
Okay.
But I think it was the teleprompter may have not moved forward, and he just made up crap.
That's all I can figure.
How, when you're talking about the Revolutionary War, do you start talking about airports?
Aaron, I have no idea.
Like I look.
The only answer I have, unless we're just going to decide that the president is just senile, which is possible, is that he just really enjoys trolling people, which is also true. It's a known thing. So
I'm watching this video again. I'm watching this video again, and when it drops out, his face lags, like it cuts, like when he's like, and they man the air, and it's like it, like I'm not. I'm really not trying to be mean, but it almost looks like he had like something happened. Like someone got him. Like someone got him with a taser or something.
He might have just been really surprised. I don't know. Trump has said that he doesn't like teleprompters, so I don't know. Maybe he doesn't use one a lot.
Yeah, well, he
prefers speaking from the cuff. So to
when
speak.
he doesn't use a teleprompter, he ends up lying. Or making.
I'm not sure the teleprompter's the issue.
Or making crap up.
Oh man,
it's so.
I don't know what to think.
So frustrating, so weird, and so frustrating.
Is this going to be a 25th Amendment issue?
I hope not. Tombstone, I'm
okay. You know what? Since we're here, let's just go
frustrated.
there.
Let's do it.
If you knew there was going to be a serious effort to remove the president based on 25th Amendment grounds, what would your reaction be?
Look, okay, so I'd be opposed. This is not the situation. This is not treason. Well, guys, I don't care what you think out there about the Russia thing. It did not happen. There's no treason. Yes, he made the verbal slip that, oh, well, Russia helped me gain the election or whatever that was. Russia didn't help him, guys. We as countries are involved in other people's elections all the time. Ask Netanyahu how that works for him, because Obama was trying to co-opt that election time and time again.
I need to point out here that there's really only been one president that I know of that should have had a 25th Amendment removal.
And who was that?
McKinley.
Okay, and why was that?
No, pardon me, not McKinley. McKinley was assassinated. Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, explain why.
Well, he was basically an invalid the last 2 years of his presidency, and his wife ran the show.
Right.
Did you not know this?
No. I did know that, but I just want you to explain it out. And
yeah, I don't have any details past that, but that seems to be a pretty well agreed upon fact.
Yeah.
So I'm checking Wikipedia to see if the always correct Wikipedia agrees with my memory here.
Right.
Nothing like reciting history on the fly. Only for you, dear listeners, will we delve so deep into the archives of this great nation
of Wikipedia and figure out the truth from Wikipedia.
Well, it's a quick reference. I obviously don't trust it implicitly.
No, right. Although we've said on the show before that, it's one of those things that, Wikipedia may not always be right, but it's right a lot, 99% of the time.
Wikipedia is a place to at least start if you need to get a couple references or whatever. So, anyways, no, I think.
So I'm reading through the 25th Amendment right now.
It's okay. I think it's in section 4, the relevant section. But of course, if Trump was removed under Amendment 25, which I don't think would ever happen because I forget who has to vote on it, but I'm pretty sure you have to have some kind of majority in Congress.
Not? Okay.
Yeah, you have to have
hold on. Whenever the vice president, majority of either principal officers of the executive departments or such other body of Congress may by law transmit to the president pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives their declaration that the president is unable to charge the powers and the duties of his office, the vice president shall immediately assume the powers and duties of acting as president. So it's got to be the vice president, and it looks like the cabinet.
Yeah. But the problem is,
and it's got to be by law.
The vice president is Mike Pence,
and he would not.
That's not a problem for me. That's a problem for Rachel Maddow and whoever else is out there with angry
hair. Who thinks that all of a sudden, if Pence becomes president, he's going to try to attack them with conversion therapy.
Let me tell you exactly what would happen if Mike Pence was president. First of all, gay people would immediately be rounded up and put into prison camps, but they would be supplied with infinite home decorating materials, so they would be fabulous. But on the other hand, they would also be forced to eat Chick-fil-A, so misery would be abundant.
That's Tombstone at thefrontporchshow.com. No, seriously, what Pence and us, for that matter, may disagree with some lifestyle choices, but that doesn't mean we want death. That doesn't mean we want anything else to happen to anyone of that persuasion.
No, the newfangled phrase is erasing their existence,
which is complete baloney. Man, I'm so close.
Well,
to
it goes along with this whole thing about how speech is violence, because if you believe so, the way this works, and part of the reason that free speech is under attack is because the left believes in a sort of magical, I shouldn't say the left broadly, but definitely the hard left, the academic left, the intellectual left, the intersectionalists believe in this magical property of mean words, where if you say, that homosexuality is a deviant lifestyle and people shouldn't do it, and they should, if you're going to take the really conservative tack, say they should repent before God and change their life, then a gay person doesn't hear, or a person who, I shouldn't say all gay people, because not all people subscribe to this, but if you're an intersectionalist, a hardcore intersectionalist, you hear that and you think this person is condoning the beating down of gay people in the street willy-nilly, and he doesn't think that gay people should be allowed to exist.
Well, that's how it works. That if you don't agree with someone,
that's how it works. Yeah, it's like it's a belief in the magical property of words. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, there are people out there in angry internet land who say really, really terrible things, like people should be stoned. These are also the same people that wear. Well,
we talked about it
hats,
2 or 3 weeks ago. The sheriff who preached the message in his church that he thought that the government's job should be executing the gays.
Yeah, that's kind of a different thing entirely. Like, I kind of get that. I think the hard left is way more in touch with the propaganda war that's raging over this than the right is, because the right is fractured and uncoordinated. But
not that you're saying, but you get what the guy is saying.
But the number, no.
Okay, I just want to make that very clear.
The number of people that actually want to stone gay people is
absolutely
really,
minuscule,
really small.
Absolutely.
And obviously, killing people is a crime. That's still a thing. So
unless you're unborn,
nobody that I'm aware of has ever not been convicted of murder just because that person was gay.
Right. Exactly.
So,
and wait, it's a hate crime in the U.S. if you kill someone.
Only if you do it
motivated by that's what I'm saying. Motivated by
don't get me spun up on that because I don't have anything nice to say.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you.
But yeah. So Mike Pence, Jesus chicken, or as I call it, hate chicken, delicious hate chicken. That's your future if President Trump is removed under the 25th Amendment.
That's us, man. We're the Jesus chicken aficionados.
So, when we come back, we'll talk about more mundane things like how not to cheat on a marathon and not ending up dead afterwards. That's fatigue.
They cut my beard and forced me to eat.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Okay, Tombstone.
Yes.
I send you this article 6 days ago, and it said that a guy who's run a bunch of marathons, 70 years old, and now he held the record for, I think it was the LA Marathon.
Yeah.
For his age bracket. For his age bracket,
30 hours.
He held the grand total until they disqualified him for cheating. Now he's under controversial times. He has held other records in other marathons as well.
Uh-huh.
And now, when we go to pull up the article today, we find out that 2 days ago, he ends up sleeping with the fishies. Well, or the rebar in the bottom of the Los Angeles River.
I don't think there is any. I don't think there is any water in that basin.
Isn't this where
they filmed the Mini Coopers racing in the Italian Job?
Well, the Mini Coopers racing in the Italian Job, and also, if you remember, was it the day after tomorrow? Yeah, no, it was 2012. 2012. The movie 2012.
Was Nicolas Cage in that one?
No, this was the one where they all go and get in the arcs in the Himalayas. That are going to save humanity. Anyways, they land the space shuttle on the Los Angeles River, which is all it is flood control. It's a concrete flood control.
Right.
And so it's concrete and maybe a trickle of water.
I gotta look this up.
You can see it from space, Tombstone.
All I remember, so I'm trying to remember. So I think there was a scene from the space shuttle or the basin.
Well, we'll get to that article later.
Oh, okay. So I know they filmed a scene in Greece in the river trough
in Greece,
and yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that in forever, man.
I've never seen the whole thing. I just caught snippets of it. It's terrible.
Thanks.
And you're welcome.
No, you saved me a lot of time there, bud.
You're welcome. Dude, I gotta take care of it.
No, I know.
And there's also a scene. Have you ever seen Them?
I've heard of it. I know what you're talking about.
It's a movie about giant ants from 1954.
Oh yeah.
And there's a scene where the ants are crawling down the river, and the tanks and the little army guys, the M1 Garands are there.
Right.
It's glorious. Tommy guns. Tommy guns are completely ineffectual against giant ants. Just need to get that.
Okay, that's good to know.
A bear at 50 would probably work great.
Okay.
But you need something. You need something with a soft tip, because ants, their bodies are kind of like they don't have internal organs, so it's not like you can hit at one particular point. So you need something that makes a big hydrostatic punch and just sort of disrupts everything on the inside.
Gotcha.
You don't need a lot of penetration, because they're not that crunchy. It's mostly just you got to take big pieces out, slow them down.
Understood.
Or shoot him in the knee.
Who would have known? Who would have known? I mean, now you do.
So Dr. Frank Mesa, who is sadly no longer with us, but for a brief shining moment in time, he's a record holder. But apparently, so if it was just the one marathon, we'd say, okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
But he's got apparently quite a distinguished history of weird times and not running over the little mats they use to track you.
Or
so
failed
I'll tell
equipment.
you what, when I did my race last year, I made sure I hit every single mat. So
what? Explain these mats. What are you talking about?
Okay, so when you're racing, you have a little if you go to the hospital, they gave you a little plastic collar to go on your ankle or your wrist.
Yeah. Well,
so
I've never had one.
If you're running, you put one on your ankle.
Okay.
And it's just got a little tiny RFID chip. So, and there's these big rubber mats you run or ride over, and it trips the circuitry, and your number is attached to that chip, so it knows then over that marker. So nothing fancy. It's really basic technology, but if you don't hit every one, then they're going to say, hey, what's your deal? So now the race I ran, there's really no way to cheat. So
yeah, but I mean,
for the bicycle race, it was a loop. There were no shortcuts. It was just going around. And then for the running, if you didn't go all the way to the top, then you didn't finish.
I mean,
so
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's really,
sense.
There is an anti-cheating aspect to it, but it's also for tracking your time and everything else. So
I'm trying to look up here the path of the Los Angeles Marathon.
Sure. I did look up on the YouTube while you were bringing in the break.
Yeah.
And I did find some of the footage of him running off, basically where they think he ran off and on the course.
So he would have literally had to. But I don't know. So I only am able to find the one spot where you can see him running back on the course, which he claims, and I quote, "I went to take a tinkle."
Yeah.
If that's not suspect, Tombstone, I don't know what is.
Oh no, that's not suspect at all.
No.
Especially not when you're 70 or whatever. However old he was. He was over 70.
So it looks to me like
that was my biggest struggle on my race last year. My biggest struggle was I had to pee the entire time. It was miserable, especially riding the bicycle,
full bladder. Yep. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this thing at this map here, and it's for the most part it's pretty much a straight line.
Yeah.
Like you can't make it up except for the first 5 miles. And so the only possibility, I mean, that he had, unless they were driving him, was kind of jumping over like in the first 5 miles from one to another.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're saying here that he would have had to run one 5K course segment faster than the current 70 to 74 age group 5K world record, which would be impossible during a marathon because you're already exhausted during the marathon.
Right.
And so
so it's sketchy.
It couldn't have happened. Anyways, he ends up dead. He ends up dead.
I think from what his wife said, he was experiencing a good bit of cyberbullying is a terribly overused term, but he was being yelled at and online by bloggers and fitness freaks everywhere. So I don't know.
Okay, so they did respond to a possible jumper above the dry river channel and then made the discovery. So there was a report of a jumper.
So he did jump.
Yeah, more than likely.
Some fitness blogger didn't take him out in a peak of rage.
No, apparently not.
That would be a story. Stop disappointing us, Los Angeles. We need you. We need you to step up your script writing game.
Yeah.
The simulation is failing us.
So he's a physician. What was he a physician of? Just a. I'm kind of curious about that.
So when I looked up his name in YouTube, I actually found a video of him. He worked for Kaiser Permanente out there.
Oh, so he was like a research doctor.
I don't know what he was.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that in here.
Okay.
Page is not available because they pulled the page.
Bum bum bum.
Where's the way back machine? Can we do that? Can I go there? Okay. Here. Yes, I got it. He is a Kaiser Permanente provider, so that means obviously he works for Kaiser Permanente.
Yes.
He's a male, and he practices family medicine. There you go, family medicine.
That's what I was. That's
so basically general practitioner. He was born and raised in East Los Angeles, son of Mexican immigrants. Went to college on a track scholarship. Okay, that's interesting. That is very interesting.
He's been running for a while.
So he's been running. Interested in medicine while in school. Co-founded the Brown Beret Free Clinic in 1968. Founder of the Clinica Tepito Latino Free Clinic at UC Davis.
Okay.
Late 60s, he was trying to gain Mexican, Latino, Chicano students access to medical schools, board-certified family practice and sports medicine, and serve on the National Diversity Council.
So, yeah, I don't know. This is one of those. There's one of these deals where you may just not know really what's going on, but there's something going on.
I mean, have they proven he cheated yet? I guess is my question.
I mean, nearest to it because they revoked his. But they revoked his win. They revoked his score.
Is it one of those knee-jerk reactions though, or is it they actually caught him cheating?
I think they actually caught him.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he cheated.
Yeah. Well, odds are he's odds are. All right, we'll be right back.
Smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa.
That was a non-gendered person, Ken, and you just gave it a gender.
I tried this one chili that set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
All right, leave this guy alone with his poor constipated poops. We're going to come back and talk about politics. That's what really matters here.
Man, I love how that ends out there.
Love it.
Listen to that music.
So if we can circle back really briefly, the fire marshal there in Fort Mill where the the containers blew up, they said it was an arson.
Oh,
so
really?
I would not want to speculate who did it or why, but they say it was definitely arson, which makes sense because if you had a bunch of fireworks locked in a steel container, there's only so much that can set it off.
How much do you want to bet alcohol was involved?
Almost certainly.
Okay.
Almost certainly. So pretty. But
Tombstone,
the hour is suspicious because it happened at like 5:00 in the morning. So yeah.
You can still be under the influence.
I'm just saying most people that are under the influence by 5 a.m. usually are either sacked out or they're sitting.
Did you see the did you see the breathalyzer I sent you?
No.
Tonight? Okay.
So you texted me.
I sent that. Just take a peek at that.
I was too busy playing Call of Duty Blackout.
I sent you a screenshot from Nebraska State Patrol from a stop on I-80, a truck driver. And read that number there.
Jeff has muted us again, by the way.
He has.
Son of a. Where did you
I sent it? I sent it to Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah, it's over on Facebook.
Hang with us, gentle audience.
It's so terrible when we have four different text threads open.
Nebraska State Patrol driving drunk and hauling 80,000 pounds down one of the most traveled roads in the country. I guess that's I-80.
Yes.
Great job, Trooper Inkian, for removing this dangerous driver from the road. And it says, there's a very lovely picture of the breathalyzer with the truck in the background, and the breathalyzer reads .317. I don't know how much that is.
317. That's four times over the legal limit.
So you asked a very salient question in the text thread there, which was, how do people function at that point?
Yeah, no.
And the answer is they drink a lot. They have a really high tolerance for it.
You think? Like, is that possible?
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what 0.317 would feel like.
Like, yeah, neither do I. I mean, that's just, it seems so excessive.
I just don't know.
Like, if the legal limit of people driving is 0.08, and the guy is 4 times over that,
so
that's so much.
So in other crazy people driving news,
Tombstone, hold on. He was his bloodstream was more alcohol than Elizabeth Warren is Indian.
God. You did some napkin math on that one.
You're welcome. You're off the mic.
You're fired. Aaron, what's your email? Aaron.mathis at thefrontporchshow.com.
Aaron Mathis at thefrontporchshow.com. I'm here all week.
Okay,
that's a dad joke for you, Ben. That's a dad joke for you.
You're fired. All right, so pivoting to other news in Greenville, South Kakalaki, my humble hometown.
Why do we have to talk about this story?
Or what do you mean? How do we not talk about this story?
Snakes. All I know is you said snake wielding, and I'm like, nah. Okay, tell me what happened.
I forgot you don't like snakes. I think snakes are cool. So I'm reading from the Greenville Police Department Facebook page, and this is their headline, and it's just glorious. You have whoever their social media person is living their best life right now. Headline is snake throwing carjacker drives through downtown barricades and crashes into family vehicle at approximately 8:25. What?
I saw the remnants of that, but did not know the story behind it.
At approximately, I didn't know about the part about the snake till literally just now. At approximately 8:25 p.m. on July the 5th, Greenville Police Department patrol officers responded to a carjacking. The incident began as the female suspect threw sticks and a snake at the victim before striking her with her fist and stealing her keys and vehicle. Holy smokes. That is far out. A short time later, GPD officers, sticks and a snake.
Because
doesn't everybody have sticks and a snake handy when they go downtown?
Because you're just like, I got sticks and a snake. Here.
I wonder what kind of snake it was now.
Hold these. I want your keys.
Okay. A short time later, GPD officers working a road closure at Falls Park, which, as those of you who live in town know, it's always closed in the summertime, and Main Street observed a silver Honda CRV recklessly drive through a set of water barricades and into the pole vaulting event site, causing damage to equipment. There must have been some kind of thing going on down there. So the police department officers, not knowing the vehicle was stolen, attempted to stop the suspect, but she continued driving onto Broad Street and then onto Spring Street, where she struck another moving vehicle, which is occupied by a mother and a daughter. Goodness. The suspect jumped from the passenger side of the stolen SUV and was pursued by a Greenville Police Department officer on foot. The officer quickly caught up to the subject, who resisted arrest.
Did she throw more snakes?
Stop resisting. The other officers arrived, and the suspect was taken into custody. The suspect, get this, the suspect complained of an injured soldier, stop resisting, and was taken to an area medical facility for evaluation.
This is so
no
amazing.
No other injuries have been reported.
It's so amazing.
That may be the best Greenville story I've seen in quite some time.
So the last Greenville story was Greenville County that I remember, like a big crazy story, and that was the woman who that disgusting story we talked about, and I think it might have been Simpsonville actually, where the woman gouged her eyes.
That was Anderson.
Was it? Oh, Anderson. Anderson. Yeah. Okay.
That was Anderson.
That was gnarly, man.
That was when we first started recording this show.
It was a long time ago. That was a gnarly story. I loved it.
Thanks for reminding me of that one. I haven't thought about that one in a long time.
That's just one of the more impactful Greenville stories. Then we had the shooting.
Impactful.
Do we know how that ended up, by the way?
No idea.
I'm kind of curious about that, because that was the sheriff shot through the window at the homeowner standing inside with the gun. Yeah, that was a gnarly story. I don't remember any updates to that, or if anything.
Wait, what? Tell me what this was again.
Don't you remember the story that we did, where the guy was standing inside the door of his house and the cop deputy shot him through the window? You were here.
I remember a guy being shot in his backyard.
No. This was a guy being shot through the window of his front door. Like,
oh yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything. Like, and I keep pretty good tabs.
I don't know why.
On...
I don't know why I didn't remember that. That was kind of a big deal.
I keep pretty good tabs on Nebraska news, Greenville news, and Michigan news, just because of the locations of your humble hosts. And I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure.
Hang on, I'm doing a very quick Google.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take a stab at it. It might be the simple reason that the guy is bringing a civil suit.
Well,
either that or he was actually charged with a crime and something else was going on.
Yeah.
Do you remember what date that was?
I don't. Let's jump to a break. We'll look that up and we'll come right back and we will find out the details for you, our listeners, if there are any. We'll be right back.
The entire first half, we got hit in the mouth and acted like somebody took our lunch money, and all we wanted to do was have pouty expressions on our face until somebody daubed our little tears off and made us feel better. And then, then we'd go out there and try harder once our mommies told us we were okay.
Families is where our nation finds hope, where wings take dream.
This thing was 10 foot tall.
That's right, it was.
Take dream.
Tombstone, we did take some time during the break and we researched out the shooting in Greenville. There is no information. Like we went as deep as we found the house. We figured out the guy's name. We figured out what his wife does for employment. We figured out that his daughter drives a Mustang.
It sounds creepy. Aaron, stop. Gosh, creepy.
Just saying, we executed our Google. We did our due diligence.
We executed our excellent Google foo. But that's all Aaron's trying to say. That's all he's trying to say.
But due to the sensitive nature of the story, we're not going to give out the name of the guy who was more than likely shot in his house. Tombstone's going to reach out this week, maybe to the PR department of the Greenville Police,
to the Popo
Sheriff's Department, I guess it is, and find out if we can get more information on what's happening with that case, because there is no news covering that, and that's kind of a crucial story for as
we're very curious
as former firearm owners. Due to the tragic canoe accident.
Don't make a boating accident joke. It's so overdone.
Hashtag dad joke.
That's not a no.
Okay.
No.
See, I told Ben that I couldn't make dad jokes, that they just have to happen, and I'm trying to force them, Tombstone, and it's just not working. So Myron, little Myron, our oldest, he turned 4 this week. Did I tell you what happened on Friday night? No, you're giving me a blank look.
No, total blank look.
So, Alyssa decided on Friday night, it's probably midnight, Alyssa decides that she's going to decorate Myron's door. Because we've got so much going on today. Today was his birthday, Saturday, July 7th. That we had so much going on today that we couldn't really take the time to spend on today. So we did it yesterday. We celebrated yesterday. And so Friday night, Alyssa decides that she's going to set up decorations on his door in order to, bring in the festivities on Saturday morning. And she hangs a big 4 from his door frame and hangs like 8 streamers. And I had told her that it's probably not a good idea, and I didn't extrapolate upon that. I just left it there. And it wasn't a good idea, Tombstone.
Why was it not a good idea?
Because at 1 a.m. the door opens. And I hear said door open. And I hear Myron shriek at the top of his lungs. And then I hear the feet start pattering.
I'm only laughing to keep him crying.
I hear the feet start
this
pattering.
Feel. I know this feel.
And the door to our bedroom blows open.
Of course.
And still shrieking, "The squid almost got me."
Sorry.
No. He's laughing about it now. He's laughing about it now.
That's
but
amazing.
yes, 3 a.m. in the morning or 1 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
Not even an hour.
Did he get
after
any sleep?
Well, he cuddled up with us between us and our bed for a while.
Of course.
And of course he's trying to rationalize the whole time. Why would Mama put up the streamers at night when as I told him, I said, "Good question, buddy. That's a question that we're gonna have to let Mama answer."
Do your kids, especially your little one, does he wake up crying in the night?
Occasionally. I mean, Trevor wakes up every once in a while crying.
My daughter wakes up almost every night in full meltdown. I don't know what it is.
2.5?
2.5.
Yeah. Trevor.
It doesn't really bother me because she goes to sleep pretty quick, but it's like, just really
Trevor,
wild.
I'd say it's every couple nights it happens that he wakes up. He hasn't done it the last 3 nights though, right? But we've been pushing him real hard the last couple days. I mean, they've been exhausted.
Yeah.
But Myron's on this kick now where he gets up at like 5 a.m. and then just kind of, he'll walk into the bedroom. "Hey, Mama. Hey, Mom. Myron,
That's the worst.
Myron, go play, buddy. Just go away.
Just go somewhere.
And so I had a very calm conversation with him the other morning.
Is he doing naps?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Should he have them? Yes. Does he take them? 5%, 10 to 50% of the time.
I mean, we don't really do naps.
The other problem is that if he, it doesn't matter whether he does a nap or doesn't do a nap. It doesn't change any of the sleeping habits.
Right.
Like his sleeping habits at night are he will not fall asleep until like 9 p.m.
Does it change how easy he is to deal with?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So like if we don't have a nap, it's meltdown in the evening. It's a rough evening. But it doesn't really change as far as when he goes to bed or when he falls asleep.
Right.
Because we could send him to bed at like 7 o'clock in the evening and he'd still not fall asleep until 9.
Right.
You know, and same with the morning. He'll wake up at 5 a.m. if he wants to. And you're like, "Just go back to bed, buddy." And he's like, and as soon as it's semi-light out, like if there's any amount of light coming over the horizon, he's up, he's ready, he's done, he's good.
He's up and ready to rock.
Yep. And so,
oh goodness,
I had that very candid conversation with him the other morning, and I was like, "Buddy, look, I know you're only 4. I know you're not quite, understanding all this, but if you get up and Mommy and Daddy are still in bed, just go play. You have 2 ginormous buckets of Legos."
I will say we have had moderate success explaining things to Johanna.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to understand what she says, but she understands apparently more than she can say.
Yeah.
So, and it depends on how cooperative she's feeling at any given day, but sometimes it helps. Sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't.
It just goes to heck.
No, it was fun. I mean, look, kid's 4th birthday. It was a blast. We had fun. So yesterday we went out to Ash Falls, Nebraska. Or Ash Fall. It's an old watering hole that they have dug up horses and rhinoceroses in.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so that was pretty cool.
Take me when I come out.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sight. And then we took the boys to the fish hatchery. And they loved that, and then came home, and Alyssa and I've told you the story. I've told you about our cake, right? The cake, the four sticks of butter, 4 cups of flour, 4 cups of sugar.
Sounds positively glorious.
Excessive amounts of chocolate in the yeah. It's a dense. It's the only cake I really like.
Did he enjoy it?
He did. we made it look like a rocket ship. I'm going to post a picture up onto the Facebook page.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
we did that. So all in all, a great birthday. It was. We held the festivities out for 2 days because today he got to go to the bakery and get donuts for breakfast. Wow. And then we had banana splits with our small group from church tonight. So that rocked his little world. So he pretty happy kid. So grandma got him a Captain America suit. One of those little muscle suit costumes.
Yeah.
And like, so last night he's praying, right? Before bed. And he's like, and thank you for my Lego TIE fighter. I got that for him. I was pretty proud to get included in the prayer on that one.
You gave it to him, but Jesus gets the credit.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm good with that. That's fine. And
price of dadhood.
Price of dadhood. I'm fine with that. And he's like, and thank you that I got the Captain America suit, even though I wasn't expecting it. And it was super awesome and got big muscles. And it's like the mind of a 4-year-old. It's just awesome. So
it is.
Happy birthday, little Myron. We will be right back with a Walmart story.
How could we go wrong with a Walmart story?
You can't go wrong with Walmart ever, can you?
No.
This thing was 10 foot tall. He had beautiful hair. He looked like he had 6 fingers on each hand. I come out here and rough talked him and run him off. And I said, get away from here. Get. And he went right back out that path again.
We're not sure if we're talking about Bigfoot or the people of Walmart.
Be nice.
Tombstone. Look, I'm a Walmart shopper. Okay. There's no shame in Walmart.
So I realized something talking with Chris the other day.
Yeah.
That shopping at Target, all you're doing is paying a tax that you did not have to be at Walmart.
That's actually kind of true.
And deal with Walmart people. That's all it is. You're paying that extra 5, 10, 15% to not go to Walmart.
I'd agree with you. But man, the people watching at Walmart is always gold.
It's glorious.
It is. Okay, so let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Is it ever okay to eat food in a grocery store before you buy it?
If you're 4, yes. If you're 4 and your mama gives you a pack of crackers to get you through the day, otherwise probably not. So when I was working in framing and landscaping and so on, I used to stop at the CVS there in Wade Hampton, and I would get a Gatorade because I was that thirsty and that hot. And sometimes I would get a Gatorade and crack it open and drink it before I got to the register.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, you were paying for it, right?
But I was paying for it.
Yeah, so there's no shame in that.
I did not get to the register and try to have them take half off because I had a half-empty bottle of Gatorade.
Wichita Falls, Texas.
Yes.
Banned a woman whose name has not been released by authorities, who entered Walmart, picked up a cake.
Names have been hidden to protect the guilty.
Picked up a cake from the bakery aisle, which there's a bakery aisle? Interesting. And then proceeded to eat it while walking through the store. Now, she finished the snack and reportedly told the store employee at the cash register she'd only be paying for that remaining half of a cake, alleging that she had actually found the confection half consumed already.
I feel like alcohol has to be involved. But at what point are we saying that just to make excuses for the lousy nature of our fellow human beings?
That's a good question.
This is a metaphysical question.
But remember Tombstone. Yes. Tombstone, Wichita Falls, Texas. This Walmart was in the news last year. This was when a person was riding through Walmart on a scooter. We covered this on the show with wine in the Pringles can and imbibing on
flawless victory.
Wichita Falls, Texas has all the fun.
How do you put wine in a Pringles can? Maybe was it like a box wine and they took the baggie out and put it in a Pringles can? That has to be it.
I don't know, or just slid the bottle in the Pringles can. I don't know if that's possible.
I don't know if they make. I mean, maybe if it's like a really small bottle, it might work. I don't know.
I'm not a
wine connoisseur.
I don't know if it would fit.
I mean, I feel like Wichita Falls has upped their game, and the rest of the country needs to keep up.
Walmart says that this was just a situation of someone wanting to have their cake and eating it too.
Oh my!
Really?
No, you had to give them credit for that one. That's way better than a soulless corporate press release.
Credit where credit is due. Tara Aston, senior media relations for Walmart. Like any grocery store, if customers consume food or drink in our store like half a cake, they should pay for it. I think we're totally missing this one point here, Tombstone.
What's that?
This woman ate half of a cake.
That's another reason I feel like some kind of substance might have been involved, unless it was a really small cake, like one of those little personal cakes. By the way, when's the last time you had a Walmart cake? The ones I've had have not been very good.
When's the last time I had a Walmart cake? So I don't eat cake. That I guess that's.
But you do eat banana splits.
But I eat the cake and I eat banana splits. I can't ever remember eating a Walmart cake. I mean, I know people who buy them, but I guess I can't remember ever. I guess I can't remember ever doing that. We used to get bakery items from our local grocery store, and we would feed it to pigs.
I have an anecdote about this.
Yeah.
So I can't eat inexpensive baked stuff from the store.
Okay.
Because it's got preservatives in it.
Okay.
It just doesn't taste good to me.
Yeah, I agree.
When we were living in South Africa, we used to get inexpensive baked stuff all the time, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, there's a big difference.
It was a lot fresher and didn't have as much. I don't know. I presume it's preservatives. I don't know what else it would be. So,
I think bakery items though are one of those things that if they're not fresh and they're just full of preservatives, it's like nah.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It's like the difference between getting getting one of those zebra cakes, and which is they're so terrible.
I've been known to indulge.
They're so terrible, but there's something about a zebra cake that just calls you.
Yeah.
But they're disgusting, and they're
so all right. So I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, finish your thought.
No,
they're
yeah,
disgusting. Do you think that stuff is the same as it was when we had it when we were kids?
What do you mean?
Or have our palates just gotten more discriminating? Because I remember eating zebra cakes and little W rolls when I was a kid, and they were amazing. So I don't know if they've actually changed the recipe and made them less delectable, or if my palate has merely evolved to become more discerning.
I like to think that I am a more discerning eater, but I honestly don't know.
I don't either.
I like wide variety of food. No offense to my mother. If you're listening, Mom, I love you dearly. But she cooked pretty bland food. Like very little on the front of even salt or pepper in the foods. And like I can't get enough of pepper in food. Like just spice that sucker up. I've got red pepper flakes sitting on the counter that I will add to anything. I'll have a couple noodles with my dinner, and I'll throw red pepper flakes on my noodles. Yeah, because I want that spice. I want that heat.
I'm with you on that. I get that.
And so, like anything that you can add some sort of spice to, some sort of, I guess that's one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of that chicken tikka masala, that Indian dish. It's just super, super flavorful and spicy and nuanced, and I like depth to my food. And a zebra cake is just like you might as well eat a piece of cardboard. You're probably getting more nutrients out of the cardboard than the
plate full of beans.
But it's what it is. So good, man. Thank you.
I'll eat one. I'll eat one if I need a quick snack, like if I'm cutting the grass or whatever, and I got to go around the corner to get gas for the mower. Then I'll get one. But
in college, it was those oatmeal cream cookies.
Yes,
those are still okay. Those are trouble, man.
Yeah, well, that's why we all gained 20 pounds when we were in college or more.
Well, I was going to say or more. It was rough. Yeah, so they the Twitter feed is beautiful on this, by the way. One woman or one guy is like, I feel guilty if I eat a couple grapes. Even if it were true that she did find half-eaten cake, who would be in the right mind to buy it? It's a good question.
I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Well, that's another reason I think that substance abuse might have been involved.
Wait a minute. Was she trying to buy an already half-eaten cake that she just found on the shelf? Who buys a half-eaten cake? It's a good question.
Right.
I don't know. Walmart, thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for giving us everything we need. All right, Tombstone, we are back.
That is some solid bumper music.
It is. I like it.
Makes me want to bob my head.
Tell me, Tombstone, you sent me this ominous email this week.
I sent you mistaken link. I copied the same link twice in two
did
emails.
you?
Anyways,
I
yeah, it's okay.
I didn't notice that.
The other thing was about the Epstein. The other link was about the Epstein thing, which we
do need to talk about that. Talk to me about this motorcycle only checkpoints.
So I don't know if it's a state thing or a city thing. I think it's purely a city thing. The city of New York has established motorcycle checkpoints, and they are not for cars. They're only for motorcycles. So a guy on the so I found this at Revzilla, which is a motorcycle. It's a blog, but it's also a retail site for motorcycle gear if you're interested in that sort of thing. So this guy it's a YouTube guy called Moto Royale. I don't know if he's Indian or what, but he rides a Royal Enfield, which is made in India, and he looks kind of Indian. But anyways, he posted a video. It's of his helmet cam riding down what looks like I think it's on the Upper East Side in Manhattan. And he gets stopped by no less than like 8 or 9 cops on the side of the road. And they wave him into a little coned off area. And they ask him for his information. And they give him a hard time about having a camera on top of his helmet. Because if you have a camera on your helmet, it could fall off and become basically, road-borne debris and crash into somebody's face or their grill of their car or whatever.
So are they obviously they are targeting motorcyclists?
Yeah, so I actually have a guess as to what this is about. So apparently parts of New York City have a problem with like hoodlums, for lack of a better word, driving around on 2-cycle dirt bikes without license plates and just causing problems. So my guess is that somebody in city leadership said to the cops, hey, we're going to do motorcycle checkpoints to make sure people aren't riding around without motorcycle license plates, which, of course, nobody's going to stop for a stupid motorcycle checkpoint unless you're law-abiding and all your T's are crossed and I's are dotted. And that's exactly what this guy had going on. And he pressed them to give him a statute on the camera thing, and they couldn't give him one, which is kind of hilarious.
Well, no, of course not, because if you drop anything from a motorcycle, it's going to be an object in the road.
So, well, what kills me is, you've got 8 cops standing around watching. In this video, there's 2 motorcyclists, and which I don't know if it's overkill. It's a little overkill, and I don't know if it's actually a revenue thing or if it's just them killing time because the leadership told them they had to do it. But the cops look bored as heck. They don't look like they're having fun. But I don't know. All check stops, in my experience, are extortion schemes. So
careful.
I was hoping
Jeff's not here to defend the establishment.
What? Jeff does not have any love lost for checkpoints.
I'm just picking on Jeff.
Don't pick on Jeff.
Just picking on Jeff.
Only when he deserves it. So you used to drive a commercial truck in New York.
I did.
So you can tell me all about your terrible experience.
So that was the funny thing. I didn't drive a commercial truck in New York. I drove a truck that had farm plates on it that was technically a commercial truck, and I was driving with a CDL.
Okay.
And so farm trucks, you're not required to drive with a CDL, and you are technically not supposed to drive outside of like 150-mile radius.
Okay.
Okay, and you can only deliver the goods that are produced by your farm on those farm plates.
Which you were.
Which I was. So the first time I got pulled over was just...
So set this up for us. What did this look like?
So I'm driving from the Orchard in the morning at like 3 a.m. in the morning, driving to Albany, New York, from Vermont to Albany, New York, to drop off apples. And I'm dropping them off at grocery stores.
Right.
Okay, like a pallet of apples, so 20 boxes of apples I'd be dropping off at these grocery stores. And then I'd be turning around, driving back, hitting 4 or 5 other grocery stores on the way home. And Bob's your uncle, I'd get paid. Everything was happy.
Yep.
Well, DOT was an issue. Department of Transportation is always an issue.
Okay.
And
so were these Fed cops or state cops?
These are state cops. Okay. And so we
NY dot or whatever they call them.
Yep. So, if there's a thing that says weigh station, pull over, vehicle safety inspection place, pull over, you got to pull over.
Yep.
So I pull over, and I pull over I pull over in the rest stop, and I hand them my license, my registration, and of course I've got everything checks out.
Right.
And the guy looks and sees the farm plates, and he's like, "Well, what are you hauling?" And this is May. And you're
like, I came from Vermont. I'm hauling.
I said, I came from Vermont. I'm hauling apples. Not weed, not hemp.
Oh,
no. And so I say, I'm from Vermont. I'm hauling apples. And the guy's like, it's May. You don't have apples. And I said,
you're like, you can just look at the back of the truck and look, right?
I said, excuse me? I don't have apples? I'm hauling apples. And he's like, well, how? He's like, it's May. You don't grow apples right now. And I was like, well, we have these magical things called CA rooms, controlled atmosphere rooms, that we store the apples in year round.
Were you this sarcastic?
I was moderately sarcastic with him. And he stares at me.
He was being a jerk.
He stares at me and he's like, no. And he walks away with my license and with the registration.
My God.
And I'm thinking, great, I'm in trouble here. And he comes back, like, slowly, after talking for like 20 minutes with another guy or another couple guys, and they were making phone calls and everything. And he just
none of them bothered to actually look at the
back of the truck. They never looked in the back of the truck. Hands me the paperwork and says, get out of here. And that was
Craziness.
it. I was also pulled over for a safety inspection in Scroon Lake once.
Okay. Where's that at?
That's way up the highway. I was coming across or the Champlain Bridge, I guess.
Okay.
I had to stop somewhere up there that I had to hit. So I drove up that way from Albany. And so yeah, I jumped off there and they pulled me over into the state sand pit yard and they inspected me there. Guy didn't find any issues, thought maybe my light was out in the back. And I was like, well, it might be. I don't know. One of my clearance lights. Because so on a truck, if your light's not working, if your light's not working, it's failed equipment. It's bad equipment.
Right.
And so they will write you up for it.
Right.
And so it doesn't matter if it's a light that you need. You know those Coke trucks that drive around during Christmas time with 1,000 lights on them.
Mm-hmm.
If a light's out on that truck, it can be written up.
Good grief.
Because it's an equipped light on the truck. And so anyway, I got pulled over there. The best time was when I was with my boss and I got pulled over with his mom because I had picked her up at the Albany airport.
Aww.
At the end of the day of delivering apples and threw her bag in the back. And I knew there was a vehicle checkpoint, so I actually got off the highway and I took a state road, and well, they were sitting on the state road too.
Oh my goodness.
And so they pull me over, and I give them my paperwork, and I'm like, she's slightly nervous, and I'm like, don't worry about it, this is fine, this is completely normal, and like they have me do all the blinkers, the lights, and everything like that, and then they come up to the front of the truck, and they put a sticker on the front of the truck. And I'm like, what in the world are they doing? Why are they putting a sticker on the front of the truck? Apparently, if you pass the inspection with flying colors, they'll put a sticker on your truck so that when you get pulled over next, it's like a get out of jail free card.
It's a gold star.
Yeah, so basically it's good for it's
a gold star for complying with the state.
It does. Thank you, Tombstone. You are embracing John Bolton's beard.
Mustache.
I'm
sorry.
He
doesn't have a beard yet.
Mustache.
If he grows a beard, we know the war is imminent.
Oh no. So yeah, no, it was an experience. I mean, so it doesn't guarantee you won't get inspected, but it's a guarantee that you might not get inspected. And so
80% of the time it works every time.
That's right. That's right. I'm not going to give the name of what you're talking about, because that's too funny.
Yeah, I don't.
But yes, 80% of the time.
Just
every time.
Oh, goodness.
So yeah, vehicle checkpoints, man. I have been pulled over. I guess I've only been in one vehicle checkpoint. It was for seatbelts in a personal car.
Mm-hmm.
It was for seatbelts and for inspections in New York, and I was Vermont car. So
I'm trying to remember if I've ever been through. So I've only been through one inspection or one checkpoint in the United States, and it was right close to my house. So it was really annoying, but I couldn't go around it easily.
We went through one in Barbados.
Yeah.
In the bus we were in, and like we're driving down this road, and there's two cops standing in the middle of the road with machine guns and camo on, and he's like, just everybody please be quiet, please sit back. And so he stops and talks with them, and they wave us through. And so someone on the bus asked, what happens? And he's like, well, they could have come on the bus and asked everyone for their papers.
Right.
They could have inspected the bus. They could have done a whole litany of things. It's just random inspections where they're just watching people.
Right.
And, if you don't have your papers.
Yeah, other countries do those, and they're way more heavy-handed than we are.
We've talked about it on the show before, man. I mean, freedom's messy, and that's okay. Yeah. Freedom's messy, and that's okay. Even when it comes down to firearm ownership, that's kind of the big one that has to be in play. And I will even go as far as the sacredicity of voting.
Right.
I don't want people restricted from voting, and I guess my point is, freedom is sometimes messy and sometimes gets you the results that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. There may be more people, take for instance, seatbelt laws. Seatbelt laws have theoretically saved lives. Okay.
Right.
But should we be telling every person on the road that they need to be wearing a seatbelt? Like, should it be a government mandated thing? I don't know. I don't think it should. I think it should be a societal pressure thing, where people are like, you're an idiot if you don't wear your seatbelt.
Right.
Same thing. I had this conversation with someone the other day, and we didn't get this far into it, but take for instance the legalization of marijuana. I mean, I think you're an idiot if you smoke weed.
It's really hard for me. It's really hard for me on stuff like this. I shouldn't say hard. I think we're going to live with a mildly paternalistic state as it is. If not that we always get to choose what we get, But I would rather see helmet laws and seatbelt laws than a whole lot of other stuff. Of course, like I said, we don't really get to pick and choose.
The problem is it kind of perpetuates, though, from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish, I don't know. I think people should make their own decisions.
So Nebraska, well, see that's the thing. Like Nebraska's got this thing where,
and I mean, like the thing is, like there's some stuff. I don't know. I don't even know if helmet laws make that big of a difference either. They can, like if you wear an actual helmet, it makes a difference. But if you don't wear an actual helmet, if you wear a fake helmet, then it's not really going to help.
Take for instance Nebraska. Nebraska's got helmet laws.
Like DOT helmet regs are almost useless.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you really, I mean, I see people driving around with like $80 helmets all the time that don't cover anything except the top of their head.
Just the skull caps, yeah.
Yeah, and like they call it a half helmet, but it's like, it comes down to like the top of your ears.
Yep. It's not going to do anything.
It doesn't help you at all. Like I wear a full helmet.
Yeah.
But but South Carolina does not have any helmet laws. North Carolina does, but people die down here every year in low speed crashes that shouldn't be fatal.
Well, you probably should be wearing a helmet. You should be wearing a helmet.
Someone I know was killed not wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
And it's like the guy was super experienced. Yep. And there's no reason for him not to wear a helmet, but that day he didn't want to do it, so he died.
Nebraska's got a helmet law, and unfortunately it causes Nebraska to lose a lot of revenue when Sturgis is held.
Sturgis, because people go around.
So people go around Nebraska because they don't want to deal with the helmet laws.
So can we take a really slight pivot here?
Yeah, of course. Of course, Tombstone. It's our show.
Did we talk about motorcycle safety the other week?
We didn't. We did not. And even if we did, I'm game to talk about it again because I don't remember. Which means half the audience doesn't remember either.
So we're talking about motorcycle checkpoints. We're talking about helmet laws. So now we're going to talk about motorcycle safety. Yeah. So the definitive findings on motorcycle safety come in the not even ironically named HURT report, H-U-R-T.
What does that stand for?
It was the name of the guy who sponsored it, I believe, or who put it together.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Hang on, let me go. I'm going to tell you that for sure. Give me just a second. It was run by Professor Harry Hurt in Los Angeles.
Cool.
So, I have some quick facts found in the Hurt report. And the Hurt report, I'm trying to remember what dates it ran. It's old. So it started in 1976 and it was published in 1981.
Are they currently still compiling it now?
There are other reports that are still being compiled. So the MAIDS report is based in Europe. The Olson report also ran in the 70s. So I don't know if there's anything ongoing right now other than the normal like traffic statistics. But the Hurt report is considered the definitive report.
So what does it tell us?
So the Hurt report had a number of findings. 75% of accidents were found to involve a motorcycle and a passenger vehicle, while the remaining 25% were single motorcycle accidents.
Okay.
So 25% of the time, it's the nut behind the wheel and nothing else.
Yep.
In the single vehicle accidents, motorcycle rider error was present as the accident precipitating factor in about 2/3 of the cases. Here's the cracker. Half of the fatal accidents, motorcycle accidents, show alcohol involvement. There's a lot of people that ride motorcycles buzzed, and that is still true today.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as much, but it still happens. Injury severity increases with speed, alcohol involvement, and motorcycle size. Not a shocker there.
Because people aren't seeing the motorcycle. I assume that's what they're meaning?
No. It has to do with velocity. It has to do with velocity and alcohol.
Okay.
And the speed available on tap. In the machine. In the multiple vehicle accidents, the driver of the other vehicle violated the motorcycle right of way in 2/3 of those accidents. So of the 75 that were two vehicle or multiple vehicle, the passenger vehicle was at fault 2/3 of the time. That's not insubstantial.
No, it's not.
But that also means that the motorcyclist is at fault, including the other 25%. They're at fault half the time.
Gotcha. Okay, so question for you. Lane splitting.
Yeah. Lane splitting is a really good idea, and it's not really good in practice, in my opinion.
Okay.
So and here's why. So the only place I know that or lane splitting is legal in the U.S. is California.
There's a couple other cities that I know it's legal. But so, I speaking from experience, I had a motorcycle lane split on me the other day.
The only way I would lane split is if traffic was at a complete dead stop and I could filter forward safely.
Well, this was the guy. The highway was cruising along at 75 miles an hour, and he split the lanes. And
that's not lane splitting. That's just riding like an idiot.
Yeah. But he split the lanes. Lane splitting is usually really only for dodging traffic jams. Yeah, I agree with you on that, but I wasn't sure how that's what brought it to mind, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I was getting at. Here's the meat of what I was looking for here. So. There's a transportation historian named Jeremy Packer, and he suggested 4 categories to describe the different approaches to the risks of motorcycling. And I'm quoting and paraphrasing from Wikipedia here. So the first and the fourth categories have opposite views, but they share a fatalistic notion of that to motorcycling is tempting fate. So anyway, attitude 1 is you quit riding or ban motorcycling, which is the vast majority of the population. Wants nothing to do with motorcycles. I've talked to a number of people that actually would like to ban motorcycles. It's kind of over the high end of the paternalism, right? You want to ban it because it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Second category is what you call the hyper-reflective self-disciplinary.
Okay.
So, and in my world, this is most of the people I know. People that ride road bikes and adventure bikes. So I'm quoting it from Wiki. This attitude to risk consists of self-criticism, constant vigilance, perpetual training and practice, and continual upgrading of safety equipment. And it's sometimes a reaction to an epiphany. This is where you get the at-gat school, which is all the gear all the time. And basically, it's the constant internalization and problem resolution. Like if something bad happens, and you reflect back and think, how could I have avoided this?
Right.
So it's the opposite of fatalism. It's like everything is my fault, which I don't know if it's totally healthy, because occasionally you will have stuff that there's really nothing you could have done. But it's always going to tell you to ride conservatively, leave plenty of room on the outside of the road, leave plenty of room in front of that car, watch that car in front of you who's turning left to see if his wheels are turning, all this kind of stuff. So, and there's quite a few books, and that's what the Motorcycle Safety Foundation is all about in their classes that they do. Okay. The third category is risk valorization. This is the acceptance that risk is unavoidable, but can be embraced by making certain choices. So, and then the last category is flaunting risk, and this is basically like outright fatalism. So
this is the lane splitting at 90 miles an hour.
This is lane splitting at 90 miles an hour. So, and these are people that don't wear helmets.
Right.
Like if you don't wear a helmet, you're basically saying I'm okay with dying on this motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Some people are.
Some people justify it by saying they can see better without a helmet, which I think is crazy. So I've never felt my view constricted by a helmet.
So Tombstone, let me ask you this question.
I have ridden without a helmet exactly like twice, and I felt incredibly naked both times.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Is the fatality rate without a helmet, accidents that are on motorcycles without a helmet, is the fatality rate higher?
Anecdotally, 100%. I'm not aware of a statistic, but I would have to find it. I'm sure
and that's my question. I mean, is that statistic?
I'm sure that statistic.
And then my other question is it the government's job to tell us that we have to do that?
I don't know. I'm gonna say no, broadly speaking. So I'm okay with like government sponsored PSAs to not be stupid. I don't know.
Right, I agree with that.
Helmet laws. So here's one thing real quick though. So they have a paragraph down here that says a BMW psychologist and researcher has found that non-motorcyclists and novice motorcyclists usually share the fatalistic attitude, insofar as to think that high-speed motorcycling is like a game of chicken or Russian roulette, where the rider tests his courage to see how close he can come to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I can neither confirm nor deny that is the case. Spiegel disagrees that only those who have gone over, that is, crashed or died, know the location of the boundary line. He says that if motorcycle racers, even non-professional or advanced riders who ride sport bikes, were approaching the limits of traction blindly, they'd be like a group of blind men wandering on top of the building, which is true. So a part of becoming skilled with a motorcycle is knowing when you're approaching the edge of your comfort zone, not the edge of your performance envelope. Mm-hmm. So, and for some people, those are the same thing, but it depends on what you're doing. If you're riding on the track and you're very skilled, the edge of your performance envelope might be the same as your comfort envelope, but you never want to find that on the road. That's not a happy place to be. And I do actually know something about that.
Yeah.
So anyways, that ended up being longer than I thought, but
no, that's fine.
We encourage people not to be fatalistic and also not to require the government to establish helmet law.
It's a fun topic, fun conversation. I love it.
And don't drink and drive.
Ever. Please.
Now, some of you might think I've been busy writing my memoirs. I'm not concerned about my memoirs. I'm concerned about my resume. Here's what I've got so far. Career objective, to stay president. But being realistic, I would consider an executive position with another country. Of course, I'd prefer to stay within the G8. I've been getting a lot of tips on how to write it, mostly from my staff. They really seem to be up on this stuff. They tell me I have to use the active voice with a resume. You know, things like commanded U.S. Armed Forces, ordered airstrikes, served 3 terms as president. Everybody embellishes a little. Designed, built, and painted bridge to 21st century. Supervised vice president's invention of the internet.
So we have to talk about an unfortunate topic that I don't really want to talk about, but we kind of have to because it's big, it's fresh news today. And that is the news that Jeffery Epstein, billionaire financier and guy who has been in the news before, like 10 years ago.
Not that long ago, less than that.
Well, 10 years ago, he dodged federal charges in a secret plea deal after years of allegations of sexually abusing young girls. And yeah, I mean, the guy is a shady guy. He has active Epstein has an active philanthropy and social life that kept him among the ranks of the New York elite. And he's traveled to Africa with Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey. Also hung out with Chris Tucker. So real socialite there. Also has spent time with Donald Trump.
I just had something very interesting happen. So as we were getting ready for this segment, I bebopped over to the Wikipedia page for Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
And the Wikipedia article toward the bottom references the fact that Bill Clinton has supposedly been on his plane 26 times, quote unquote, according to flight records. I don't know what that means. Is that something that would typically be recorded in a public fashion? Because I'm going to say no.
Probably not. So it may actually,
well,
it may be.
It gets better. It gets better. I checked the citation and there's no citation.
If they're flying outside the country, then yes, there would be a record of that on immigration documents for the aircraft. So that
I can't find it actually sourced anywhere. Hang on, I'm looking again.
No, I'm super curious about that. I remember when people were making
okay, hang on. Found a different I was looking at the wrong citation. Okay, I found it. Pardon me.
Okay.
Needless panic. So this is from Fox News. The number is 26 times. Supposedly, they're calling it. I don't want to say what it's called, but they flew to the island.
So he had an island
26 times. Epstein has an island in the Caribbean somewhere.
And yeah,
it's called Little St. James.
We won't talk about the colloquial name for it.
No.
Island off the coast of Puerto Rico where he had slaves.
Well, allegedly.
Well, allegedly, yes, allegedly. This is all alleged.
I'll be honest with you. There's a lot about this I don't know, and I'm really, really hesitant to speculate until more information comes out.
I do not disagree with you.
Now, I do think that it does appear that he got a very, very, very sweet deal just based on what he was actually convicted of or about to be convicted of in his plea deal in Miami.
Yeah, so that was
if I remember, that was actually.
2007.
Didn't he end up doing time in Broward County?
He did 13 months in what they're calling an open door prison.
Yeah,
meaning
it was like not a real prison, and I think he spent most of the time at the office when he was down there.
And so he is facing one count of trafficking minors, another of conspiracy to engage in sex trafficking of minors, and he could serve 45 years behind bars if convicted.
So skipping ahead to the good part. So the buzz is, so he was arrested again when he landed at the airport and at JFK or LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Which was Saturday the 6th.
Saturday night.
So the buzz, everybody in Twitterland, because Twitterland is unfortunately where I have my second home. Everybody says either Democrats are going down or Republicans / Trump is going down. Like, nobody literally knows anything. And apparently Christine Pelosi, who's Nancy Pelosi's daughter, said
she works for the DNC, right? She's a chairman or something.
I think she does. She said the term it was some of our faves may be implicated, favorites maybe, which meaning Democrat personalities may be implicated in this Epstein business. But that literally means nothing. Like, nothing has happened yet. We don't know if there are going to be other indictments. There's so much we don't know, and there's spin everywhere. So I did do a cursory look into the relationship between Trump and Epstein.
Yeah.
There doesn't appear to be a whole lot of there. The Trump was on his plane at one point, but Epstein was not actually on that plane. It looks like Trump caught a ride from South Florida to New York one time.
So we're not talking 26 times.
Not 26 times to Little St. James.
And to the island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's a little questionable.
And apparently Trump has kicked Epstein out of his club at one point. So Trump also kind of made a glad-handed reference one time to the fact that Epstein likes his women on the young side. So it's like kind of some people are saying that's like a nudge, nudge, wink, wink thing from Trump to Epstein. I don't know.
Or he actually just threw him under the bus instead of, and was implying that he didn't want anything to do with him.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I don't know. Like I think hopefully everything will become clear. I'll tell you what I don't think is going to happen. I would actually be surprised if anybody ends up, quote unquote, going down along with Epstein.
So the question is Epstein going to turn on anyone? I guess that's the thing.
I really doubt it. He's literally got the best lawyers money can buy.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they got him off with 13 months in an open door prison,
I gotta check on the exact charges, but it's also not obvious to me why he's not in double jeopardy here, which would be unconstitutional.
Well, it's because it's a current situation that happened. It's a sealed indictment that reportedly details a litany of molestation, abuse, and trafficking charges of dozens of girls.
I thought it was stuff from before.
I do not believe so.
I guess,
seems current.
Okay, I'll have to check on that. But so he was indicted by the Southern District of New York. They have been known to play fast and loose with the rules.
Yes.
I would hope not to the point of putting someone in double jeopardy, but again, there's a lot that I'm not clear on. So at this point, dear listeners, we have asked all the questions that we know to ask. Of course, we'd be happy to have your input on this, but
of course,
right now we're definitely in wait and see mode.
Absolutely.
So what was the other thing we were going to talk about?
Epstein. Tombstone, why put me on the spot like this?
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I feel like we were talking about something right before we came back.
We talked about Epstein. We were talking about motorcycles earlier. I don't remember.
I don't know.
We'll be right back. Old age, man.
And kids. Toddlers.
They'll do that to you.
wanted to do, at the end, I wanted to do like product liability, as in, if that camera explodes all over that guy, we'd sue the camera company and their insurance company, you see.
How does Yale out-rebound Baylor? You go up and grab the ball off the rim when it comes off, and then you grab it with two hands, and you come down with it, and that's considered a rebound. So they got more of those than we did.
There's a T-shirt of a headhunter a guy brought me from Borneo, which was kind of nice of him. He couldn't get me a shrunken head, so I got a T-shirt.
So after small group tonight, we went out to the basketball court at church and threw some hoops, as the guys call it. I stink, cool. Tombstone. I'm terrible.
I've never been able to throw a ball at all.
I am not as the kids call it, a baller.
No, it's okay.
No, I
have other skills.
I'm terrible at throwing that basketball. I can't for the life of me, Tombstone, remember what we were going to talk about last segment before we were talking about the Epstein thing, and that's okay.
I had another Epstein clip.
Oh, did you? Oh, what is it?
Can we squeeze it in?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is a clip of the guy. Well, I'll go back to my emails.
Is that the one you sent over to me earlier today?
Yes.
Is that audio? Is that audio good for radio?
It should be okay. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because if it is, we'll play it, right?
Yeah.
Is that?
I'm just trying to let me set it up for you. Okay, so this is attorney Bradley Edwards. He was the guy who interviewed Trump in 2009 in the original case.
All right, here we go.
The original Epstein case.
We'll join.
You should be able to play the whole thing.
On that document, and this goes to the more salacious rumors, but I would like you to just, whatever you can say on it. Obviously, our current president has had relationships with Epstein in the past, and there are those Katie Johnson and maybe other victims who have accused Trump of being involved in things like
Well, there's apparently an earthquake happening there.
Trump supporters will not listen to anything along those lines. Obviously, we're not a court of law here right now, but are those claims of that case was dropped? It was dropped.
Oh, and then it's buffering?
Before it went to court. In your opinion as a lawyer and your experience, is there anything you can say as to the validity of those claims, or whether or not there will be any more about that?
Nothing at all. The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
And that was in 2009?
That was in 2009. So,
do you know if there's any truth to James Patterson's claim
very
that Trump
interesting.
kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
I've definitely heard that. I definitely heard that, and I don't know that it was Trump himself as opposed to a manager there.
But it's Trump's club, so people credit him.
I've heard the rumor that Epstein was kicked out of there for allegedly trying to pick up somebody's daughter or something like that. But
oh man,
I think I did chase that down as far as I could, and never was able to confirm it. But I heard it.
I'm on the same boat with that. And just as far as Mar-a-Lago, that's where Virginia Roberts was kind of brought into the whole scheme, right? Via
that's
Maxwell.
where she was recruited.
Yeah, absolutely. So
that's where she was recruited and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's house. So, the story of someone else being recruited there is not so far-fetched.
Absolutely.
It's believable.
All right, well,
man, that is
busy. Anything else you'd like?
That's gnarly, man.
There's
that's
a lot going on there.
At AKA_ real dirty, the dirty truth is the ones who gave that interview.
Yep.
That's crazy, man.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I would never pretend to know.
Yeah. No.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. What we're gonna go into?
We were gonna talk about. I lost it. Really?
Arctic
I lost
Fox,
it already.
Coach Leach. That is my favorite intro, by the way. I would actually like to have that intro music with a different intro because it's my favorite happy, peppy intro.
Yeah, of course. We can do that. I can, of course, do that for you.
All right. Not that I don't love Coach Leach, I do.
I just wanted to mention that the United States women's soccer team won its 4th World Cup.
Yes.
Beat Holland 2-0.
Okay, you know who Megan Rapinoe is, right?
We talked about her the last 2 weeks. Yep.
Dude, she looks so angry all the time.
She's a good soccer player. Apparently, anger makes you a good soccer player.
Good for her, but she got beat by a boys' scrimmage team, apparently.
What?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Apparently the United States women's team got killed by a teenage boys' soccer team.
Oh, I heard about that.
I mean, the boys were not amateurs either, but women's soccer is not as competitive as men's soccer. That's just how it is.
Now,
I shouldn't say not as competitive, but it does not move at the same level.
The simple fact is you and I couldn't get out there and beat them.
Maybe not this week.
Maybe not ever, Tombstone. Let's be honest.
I used to play soccer.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
When? In kindergarten?
No, I played all through school, and I played when I was in college.
Really?
Yeah,
Wait, whoa.
Not very well, though.
You played soccer in college?
Yep.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yep.
You probably didn't tell me that intentionally. I mean,
I think you were. I think you were gone. I think you were in Vermont.
Was I? So they co-opted you to play soccer or something? I mean, I'm kind of weirded out.
What's that?
They co-opted you to play or something, or? I don't know. I'm just asking. I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. It's fine. It's okay.
No.
They're like, we need people. Play. Anyway, so I guess the other U.S. team is playing tonight too, right? Like right now. And I don't know the details. But yeah, I think they're playing tonight. So
the thing they're playing Mexico tonight.
Is that the men's team?
Oh, maybe it is. Pardon me.
Because they're not going to play the same. I mean, because
this Sorry.
The women's team played today. I don't know who it is. I'm uber curious about it. Anyway, so I honestly don't care anymore about soccer. I'm just going to be honest.
Soccer is a communist sport.
That's Tombstone at the Front Porch Show.
It's not a sport. Let me rephrase. It's not a sport that first world countries excel at.
Apparently, it is now. But then again, we've got Andrea Ocasio-Cortez as a member of the House of Congress. So.
I've already said everything I should say.
So while we're on the topic of socialism, let's bounce to California, Tombstone.
Okay.
Tombstone.
Oh, yes, I was going to tell you about California.
California seems to be shaking.
All right. I have very bad news for those of you that are hoping for a more dramatic California exit.
Okay, yes,
thing.
Yes.
The tectonic motion that is making earthquakes in California is pushing California towards the rest of us, not away. So it's not going to fall off. But it might get ground into dust against the San Andreas Fault. You might get lucky yet.
That's for our California listeners. That's Tombstone.
Science. We do science here at the Front Porch Show.
That's Tombstone at thefrontporchshow.com. There was a 6.4 magnitude quake in Ridgecrest on Thursday, and then on Friday, just a little bit, I guess, 36 hours later, there was a 7.1 quake,
which is not inconsiderable.
No, I mean they lost roads, they lost buildings. It was gnarly. Fires, I guess, power outages. Of course, the users of Reddit mentioned that it's located on a military base. Tombstone. Could this be a secret government project?
Let's hope not, because if it's succeeding, we're all in deep trouble.
Have you ever been? You ever been in an earthquake?
No, only little ones here. Like when I was working in downtown Greenville on the 7th floor, we had a small one hit Greenville, and I could feel the building shake. Yeah, quite exciting. I mean, once in a while we get them here on the East Coast. Our dirt does not move around nearly as much as California dirt, which is very nice. because we would like our houses to stay standing. We like our mountains exactly where they are right now. So I was slightly wrong, by the way.
Okay.
So the North American plate, which is the mainland United States, and the San Andreas plate, I think is what it's called. They're actually moving. I don't know if you can, obviously, poor audience will not be able to see, but they're kind of, the fault line runs northwest.
Okay.
So they're kind of scraping against each other.
So,
but it's not actually moving away. It's kind of this frictional.
California's moving north?
It's moving northwest, yes.
Okay.
Well, not California, because it's really just that section.
I guess
Southern California.
It's Western California.
When was the last big earthquake out there? Was it 1989?
I thought it was that's a good question. I remember there was
86 or 89.
It was LA, the big LA.
I don't think there was an earthquake in Los Angeles, so it's just California, San Francisco rather.
I thought LA got hit and it. Oh man, I don't remember.
San Francisco had a really bad. The last big earthquake they had was in 1989.
Was that the one that dropped the bridges and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't.
Yep, it dropped the elevated highways.
Yeah, that's the one. But wasn't that in LA?
No, that was San Francisco.
Northern
California. I can send you the wiki.
Yeah, send it to me. I'm super curious about it. So what's the strongest one that has hit? What's the strongest one that has hit LA?
So, I don't know. Well, I don't think Los Angeles it's not as at risk because the fault line doesn't run right through the city.
Okay.
It looks like the fault line runs right through San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a picture from the Dodgers, or a video from the Dodgers game. The camera just starts shaking. That's kind of crazy.
So if I'm reading this correctly, the earthquake that hit in 1989 was only a 6.1, but I guess it was right in town.
Interesting.
So compared to the one we just had, it was 7.1.
Oh, I'm watching a video.
It was responsible for 63 deaths.
Watching a video, woman grabs her phone.
It was 6.9, not 6.1.
Watching a video, woman grabs her phone and her pool is sloshing water out of it. That is an amazing video.
Send that real quick.
Oh,
and then we should post it for our audience.
Of course, absolutely. I'm gonna keep that saved. There's that video for you. That's an incredible video. 52 seconds.
Oh, this is from today.
This was this week. This was 9:21 p.m. in California. Yes.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, man. So it was probably the earthquake that morning.
Nope. Ain't doing that. Ain't doing that.
California is a hard pass for me right now. I'm gonna not ever live there.
That's a nope. Yep.
This is a great video too. Woman newscaster's kind of freaking out. She just grabs her co-anchor, and his wife's not going to be happy about that one. And she's freaking out, and she's like, "We need to get out of here." And then she crawls under the desk. That's amazing. Here, watch this video too. Look, I understand it's a scary situation, and if you ever lived through any of these, I'm sure it makes sense to you. But as a Flatlander, it just makes me.
The guy on the left.
He's like, oh boy, and she's having a conniption here.
I wonder how high up in the air they are in that studio.
Just watch. She's like, we'll be right back. And then she's gone. Man, that's scary. I mean, she did.
Oh my gosh!
In her defense, she did what she's supposed to do. She did what she's supposed to do. Crawl under the desk, and yeah. I mean, yeah. That's absolutely wild. Tombstone is having a sneezing fit right now.
Sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
Didn't have time to hit the button.
So just to sum up this segment, Trump had nothing to do with Epstein, or didn't have much to do with Epstein, and California is not falling into the ocean
yet.
Okay,
take us out.
Just wanted to make sure. We'll be right back with our final segment of the Front Porch Show in a minute.
days, but they want to deliver vast amounts of information over the internet. And again, the internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes. And if you don't understand, those tubes can be filled, and if they're filled, when you put your message in, it gets in line, it's going to be delayed by anyone that puts into that tube enormous amounts of material.
She's shocked that I picked her, like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
that slates Tombstone every time.
Hashtag my president.
Don't. That's Tombstone at thefrontporchshow.com.
He is your president. You don't have to like it.
Okay. Yes, he is. He is. And I will respect him as such.
Don't give me this.
I'm just saying. The airports
you have to respect the office, not the man.
The airports in the Revolutionary War.
Listen. If there had been airports, we would have stormed the airports.
Oh, no doubt,
okay,
no doubt.
Real.
Okay, so I
maybe Trump was thinking about the Second American Revolution.
I know. This I'm going away from what I had originally said we were going to talk about this segment. So I had kind of had like a couple movie marathons this week, and it was excellent. So I watched The Emperor, which was with Tommy Lee Jones, and it talked about the occupation over in and the trials for war crimes over in Japan after World War II.
Okay, I need to watch this.
It's on Amazon Video. It's excellent.
Okay,
very, very solid movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It made me actually dive into the depths of why in the world we didn't.
Oh, that explains
my question. Yeah. Baited question of why didn't we go after Hirohito?
Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to.
You can actually probably fill me in a little bit.
Yeah, so
I'm a little fuzzy on the history, but first of all, tell the audience the question you asked me.
So I posed the question: why didn't we execute Hirohito after World War II?
So Hirohito was the emperor who was
Japanese
considered to be a
supreme
god.
commander who was quote unquote god. And so we didn't execute Hitler. Hitler executed himself, supposedly, unless he's in Venezuela, Argentina, either or. And then you have Mussolini, who he was hung, right, drawn and quartered, and
he was lynched. Actually, would be the right word.
Just bad situation all around for those guys. And so why didn't we go after
Hirohito? By the way, his granddaughter is on social media and is very protective of her grandfather's legacy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man, I need to follow her.
Dude, 2019 is lit.
That's lit,
That's
man.
all I can say.
Oh. See, listen to us. We're all hip. So anyways, it was interesting watching the movie unfold because as the movie was progressing, I was researching. Because I wanted to make sure that the movie was, historically accurate and I wasn't getting, ridiculous information from the movie. And I think it's pretty solid, at least to the gist of it. We did not go after Hirohito because he was not elected and did not rise to power. He was an emperor and it was his family. He was a figurehead.
Right.
And yes, he could have said no. And in fact, he did say no at one point in time.
So I forget. So was he basically not have full agency? He was kind of kept in power by the junta, for lack of a better word, there in Japan.
I think it's very similar.
The military kind of ran the show.
Yes and no. I think that there was a divided cabinet, and I think the cabinet is mostly in charge, even though he has some say. That ultimately they're the ones who go out and make the decisions.
Gotcha.
So more of a figurehead position, very much like the Queen of England, in a sense.
Right.
And so I believe it was in was it 45, 49? He said he wasn't a god.
Yeah.
And so he declared that,
which was apparently safer.
Yeah. Well, right. And so the interesting thing is his son, just until a couple weeks ago or months ago, was the emperor of Japan.
Did not know that.
His son. And then so his son's son is now the emperor of Japan. Since he abdicated and allowed the the grandson of Hirohito to be the supreme commander of Japan. And so it's interesting because they're actually up in they're having issues right now, Tombstone, because his daughter is not eligible to hold the throne because she's a woman, and according to a 1970 or an 1870 or 1770 set of paperwork or something, it says that women can no longer hold the position of empress.
Huh.
And so it may actually go to the cousin.
Okay.
After this guy passes away or abdicates the throne. So fascinating stuff. Very interesting dynamic. Of course, being Independence Day, I also watched Independence Day, the movie with Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, because it's Independence Day and you have to. And then, I've
only seen it like one time.
You need to go back and watch it again. It's a classic. It's like,
all right.
It's like watching.
Isn't Adam Baldwin in that one?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I'll watch for Adam Baldwin.
And also the next Adam Baldwin movie I watched this week was The Patriot.
He plays a bad guy in that one.
He does play a bad guy in that one, but he's in it. And I watched The Patriot because that's my 4th of July tradition.
Yeah.
And yeah, good movie, good flick. I wanted to talk about science this segment, Tombstone. Did you see the story I sent you? I'm trying to bring it up here. Yes. Arctic fox. Mm-hmm. What does the fox say? Apparently,
I actually don't know what the fox says.
You've never heard the song?
Never heard it.
You need to go listen to it later.
Okay, I'll go listen to it later.
Yelvis.
Later.
Yelvis, I think.
Okay.
What does the fox say? Anyways, Arctic fox tracked from the Svalbard Islands in Norway to Inuit territory in Canada. 2,176 miles in 76 days, traveling across the Arctic ice pack. That's incredible. 30 miles per day. She reached 21 days later. She reached Greenland, 940 miles from her starting point.
That's a pretty good walk, especially if you're having to find food on the way.
Find food and walk the ice. I guess I didn't realize that you could. I guess I didn't realize that it was that. I'm looking right here. Svalbard. It is approximately. It's probably 900 miles north of. It's probably 900 miles north of Norway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the Greenland Sea to go across there. And so, yeah, I mean, she's finding her way across ice packs. I don't know. Is it like completely covered in ice up there during the winter? It must be.
I'm guessing it's got to be close to it. Is there a video of this?
Not really. I mean, no.
I didn't know if it was like part of a documentary.
No, like that'd be pretty cool, but no. 76 days she trotted in Greenland, she trotted 96 miles a day.
Wow. That's like some serious hustling.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So little tiny Arctic fox, her speed was 1.4 times speedier than the adult Arctic fox that was tracked in Alaska. Oh. And he was tracked fastest movement rate ever. And it weighs, so Arctic foxes are fluffy, dark-eyed, 6.5 to 17 pounds.
So cute.
Cute little suckers. They're only like 24 inches long at most. They're just little furry, cute little things.
I think foxes are really cool.
They are. They really are.
I would like to have a pet fox. Please do not send me one, but I would like to have one.
That'd be kind of cool. I'll go. Hey, I think it's awesome. Okay. Where is that article that I was looking for? The other science article that I really wanted to get for before the end of the show. have you heard of the X-37B military space plane? And did you know we had one?
No.
Well, this is the orbital test vehicle. This is I guess it's kind of an attempt to replace NASA's
say orbital test vehicle in a Sean Connery accent.
Orbital. No, that's his Russian accent. Sean Connery. Orbital test vehicle.
You don't actually have to do it. You can hear it in your head.
I did it. Orbital test vehicle. That's still kind of Russian. Sorry guys. It's a small object. It smaller than the space shuttle, and a guy with a 10-inch satellite captured photos of it.
A 10-inch what?
10-inch telescope. 10-inch Newtonian telescope. I'm sorry.
I don't know what a Newtonian telescope is. Now I kind of want one.
You need to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
You need to look up what a Newtonian telescope is. Just for
it's a telescope.
Those wondering.
For those of you at home, it is a form of telescope.
It's a reflecting telescope.
Yes.
So basically, the light shines in against the concave primary mirror on the back, and then bounces across the diagonal secondary mirror and out the eyepiece on the side.
So was it captured in space or approaching the ground?
So no, it captured in space. It is it says the X-37B has winged past 666 days of flight on this latest mission.
So it's a battery powered thing.
Theoretically, it's the 5th flight for this program. It was launched on a Falcon 9 rocket booster on September 7th, 2017. They don't talk about it, of course, because it's highly secret.
Right.
The question is, are there people on board? I don't know.
Doubtful.
Probably not.
It's probably just got a buttload of sensors and some battery packs.
Yeah. So they say the cargo.
There's really no reason to send people up on stuff like that.
The cargo's testing experimental electronics and oscillating heat pipes for long duration stints.
Ooh, oscillating heat pipes.
Yeah, I don't know what an oscillating heat pipe is, but it sounded cool, so I had to say it. It's got three primary science objectives. It's to measure initial on-orbit thermal performance, to measure long-duration thermal performance, and to assess lifetime degradation. They have not said when it's going to land, but the last one landed at KSC's shuttle landing facility. I think that's in Vandenberg, in California, Vandenberg Air Force Base, north of Santa Barbara, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
There is a 6th mission plan for this. It's going to be launched on a United Launch Alliance Atlas 5501 rocket from Cape Canaveral. And so we know that the fleet consists of 2 reusable vehicles. So this whole thing makes me wonder, Tombstone, do we have spacecraft that we don't quote unquote know about?
I think that's probably a given.
Yeah, I think so too. This vehicle is 29 feet long, 9.5 feet wide, wingspan of 15 feet. So not a very large spacecraft. Measures the payload bay is 7 foot by 4 foot. Can be outfitted with a robotic arm. Doesn't say anything about a manned crew. I don't even know if a manned crew can even be on this sucker. But props to
I would volunteer.
Props to Ralph Vandenberg of the Netherlands, which ironic that his name is Vandenberg and it's Vandenberg Air Force Base where they launch these things. Ralph Vandenberg of the Netherlands, who caught the picture of the plane. And so this is it's an amazing truly an amazing structure. This appears non-manned, Tombstone, just in case you were curious.
Okay. Disappointed, but not surprised.
There's no room in it for a person.
Right.
And so I don't know if this is a small version of what they're dreaming of what could be. It's an unmanned space test vehicle for the U.S. Air Force. based on the original X-37 design. Original launch test flight was 2010. Second test flight using a second vehicle was March 2011. So, anyways, fascinating stuff. I'm always curious about the cool sciencey stuff like that. Space, it truly is the final frontier. Anything else to add, Tombstone, before we sign off this beautiful show tonight?
I think that's all I've got, sir.
All right. We will catch you guys next week. Until then, check out the Facebook page. Check out the Twitter if you're brave enough to venture there. And check out the website for show notes. We'll catch you guys next week. Later.